Welcome to an insanity of a fountain pen review. In this one, we're gonna have a look at a fountain pen which sits at the very edge of insanity, and it's priced around 9,000 euros. Nice, smooth, strong coffee, nice writing instruments. It's a Friday, weekend is almost here, so we're gonna have a very fun time checking out this Grail fountain pen. As always, welcome back to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host here from Pen Venture. You are in for a treat. In this one, we are checking out one of the most interesting high-end Namiki fountain pens, and I've been dodging this review for quite some time, and I said today it's Friday, I have plenty of time to share with my audience, you all, a awesome fountain pen. As always, with my reviews, we're going to check out the details of this writing instrument. I'm going to tell you a little bit regarding the story, the inspiration behind the design, all of the details regarding this Urushi, and the story, because this is just like a painting. I need to explain you the story behind, because it needs to justify, at least in my opinion, this price point. And of course, we're gonna give it a proper test drive. We're gonna ink it up and we're gonna write with it, and I'm gonna show you the joy that you can get from such a writing instrument and how interesting can it be at this price point. It's not a mistake, we're gonna write with it, but it's not the fountain pen that's available for sale on our website. It's a fountain pen which, from the get-going, I want to send a big thank you towards a very important friend of the channel, Thomas, who sent me his personal Maki-e Dragon Maki in order to be reviewed on the channel and to be shared with you all watching right now. I have another one which is available on our website, and I've been waiting to get this writing instrument in our inventory for 1+ year. So this is how hard you can get one of these writing instruments, and you're gonna see by the end of this video that your complete understanding of this pen will be so much in depth, and you're gonna be in tune with what the artist portray on this writing instrument. We need to get it going because there is a ton of details, a ton of story, and I don't want to make this video like 1 hour long. Let's start with the customer experience. What you get when you order such an important writing instrument from the Namiki. You're gonna get this very high-end wooden box in which you're gonna be getting your prized possession, your heirloom. So you lift the lid, and inside there is this foam. Here is some details regarding the warranty and how to ink the fountain pen. This is a cloth that you can use in order to get the fountain pen sitting on your desk without touching your mortal desk. This high-end mythical creature of a fountain pen should not touch the desk. And inside you're gonna find this very nice and neat black ink from Namiki, and also the fountain pen resting right here. Under it you will find a eyedropper, because this fountain pen is an eyedropper fountain pen as a filling system. When we receive these writing instruments, we receive them separate from the boxes, and sometimes we don't open the boxes. But we've observed that for Goldfish Maki-e, the inside of the box was cream, and I believe also for this dragon, the inside of the box, it's going to be cream and not this red. Now let's move everything aside and let's check out in details this mythical writing instrument. From the get-going, what do I think regarding this writing instrument is that it's completely apart from everything that I've seen from the Namiki. And to be honest, this is my ultimate favorite fountain pen from the entire lineup of Maki-e writing instruments. This is the one that I like the most. This is the one that comes with the story which attracts me the most. So this is the cigar-shaped writing instrument, which is very similar to this one, but I've seen that on this high-end pieces they like to go with something which is flat at ends. Let me know if you enjoy my content. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. This will help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And let's proceed with the details. I like to keep it on a white background on my desk because you're gonna be very close towards every single detail of this writing instrument. On this fountain pen, you will see that we have two beautiful mythical dragons, one on the cap and one on the body of the fountain pen. The fountain pen presents two different types of dragon. One is an air dragon and one is a water dragon. On the cap we have the air one, and on the barrel of the fountain pen we have the one that comes from the body of water. Let's take each of them individually. So from the finial we can observe that there are the clouds which are made in this interesting silver Taka Maki-e Urushi. I don't know if you are accustomed to Urushi by now, but the Urushi as a technique implies that the Urushi artist, is using the sap of the lacquer tree, which is combined with all sorts of pigments, and it's applied in many multiple layers with curing time in between them, and it's an art itself in Asia, predominantly I believe in Japan. I could be mistaken, but this is what I know from my knowledge. Right here on the finial we have the clouds, which are beautiful, mesmerizing. You can touch and you can see that every single cloud has a ridge, and it's impressive. Going a little bit lower on the cap we see this beautiful mythical creature, the dragon, which is made in gold, Togidashi Taka Maki-e, which is translated to burnished raised Maki-e. It is a 3D effect, so if you run your fingers you will feel each and every single contour, which shows an incredible amount of skill and dedication towards this craft, this art, this Maki-e. It is made in gold, and the scales of the dragon, and this dragon comes from above, so from the air it comes down, and you can see every single detail. It's impressive. The background is this incredible abalone shell rodent, and it sparkles. So this dragon holds with his claws this ball. This is not your ordinary ball. This fearsome mythical creature, it is also known as the guardian of the East. In the Japanese culture, the dragons are the bringers of good fortune and wealth. They symbolize strength, power, protection, a symbol for fertility and success. You will want to have your dragon, and on this fountain pen you have two of them. So double wealth, double fertility, and all of that. Anyway, let's get back to that magical ball that this dragon holds in its claws. I'm gonna try to bring this pen a little bit higher so you can see the details of that magical wish-granting pearl or jewel. It is also called Chintamani, and I hope I'm not butchering that pronunciation. It's a sacred stone that gives power and grants the possessor of this sacred stone his wishes. You can clearly see that the sky dragon, the air dragon, is just using the power of this Chintamani bowl to call for the water dragon. He uses the power of the bowl to attract the rain in the spring and to make the crops grow, and in the autumn is using this power to stop the flooding of the crops. In this depiction, it's using the power of this sacred stone to lure or to call for the dragon from the water to rise up. And this is just like a dance in between two mythical, fearful creatures like these two dragons, and this is why it's all about the story with this fountain pen. The dividing line in between these two dragons is this part right here where the cap is ending, and then we have also the air, and then we have the spewing waves crashing, the effect from when the dragon comes out, and it's just spewing all over. So you can clearly see right here every single ridge of this Maki-e is just like a 3D effect. If you run your fingers through it, you can feel the actual waves and how they pop and they stand out, and it's a nice contrast because the environment, the air and the water is depicted from using silver Maki-e, and the contrast with the gold dragons is amazing. It also have those claws and the eyes, and it's looking up towards the one from the sky. It's amazing. If you ask me, this is one of the best stories for a Maki-e technique. We have also rodent abalone shell everywhere, and this very, very powerful wish-granting ball or pearl made in white rodent, and it has this accents, and you can clearly spot that there is a lot of time involved into creating this magical story, this magical dance right here on the filling system and the knob, we have the signature of the artist, and that artist is Mamoru, and I have right here his signature, Mamoru Wakabayashi, and I hope I pronounced the name correctly. You're the master, and you've made this magical story, this magical dancing between these two creatures using your hands and your crafts. And this is one of those fountain pens that we've tried to stock on it from Namiki, and we've waited 1+ years until we have it in our inventory, and I am happy that I was able to secure one of these pieces for our inventory. I hope that my camera captured these details, and I hope you can understand my excitement regarding this writing instrument, and also you can grasp the importance of this art and how much time goes into creating these details. It is time to focus on the pen itself. As a platform, the Namiki Emperor comes with flat ends. The cap, it's big. This fountain pen, it's super big, and it's an oversized writing instrument, which you're gonna see its dimensions and proportions in a few moments. The cap comes out by twisting, so this takes a little bit of turns. It is not your fountain pen that you can get with you everywhere and just simply open it up to take some notes. No, this is an experience. This is a fountain pen which just simply enjoy it as a reward for your work, your hard-earned funds, your celebration, if it means something for you, if you want to mark a specific milestone in your life. This is the kind of a fountain pen that you come home, you sit at your desk, you pour yourself something very fine, a spirit in your glass, then you take this fountain pen out, you ink it, and you write your thoughts regarding your day on a very nice high-end quality paper. So this is an experience above being a writing instrument that you can take everywhere with you. So this is not something that you would consider to be a ADC fountain pen. Uncapping the fountain pen, we get a glimpse at one of the most impressive high-end golden nibs in our industry, and it's none other than the Namiki number 50 nib. So when I say this is big, I mean it. It's super big and it's impressive, and it's a chunk of gold. Up close, this nib, it's very gracious. It depicts the Mount Fuji from Japan, and in this case, when we're dealing with high-end writing instruments, Maki-e and all of that, it comes in dual tone, with the mountain being white. And I'm gonna put it next to my mortal Namiki Emperor Vermilion number 50. It's the same nib, but the mountain, it's not dual tone, so it's not silver color, as you see in this picture. Now we have the logo of the Namiki Pen Company, Namiki 18 karat gold, FM, which is the nib size, and this fountain pen is available in 3 nib sizes: FM, fine medium, then we have medium, and then we have broad. In our inventory, we only have 2 nib sizes available, medium and broad. On the fountain pen that I got on loan, this exact one in the picture, this came with an FM nib, so it's going to be interesting to check out this very fine line from the Namiki number 50 nib. Tilting the nib like this, right here, you're going to find some details. There you will find the date, month, and year when the nib and the pen was produced. You will find this on the Namiki Emperor models, like you've seen in the one that I have, the mortal version, the vermilion one, and you will find the date stamped there. This is a nice detail on the Namiki fountain pens. Another interesting detail is the fact that the cap features inside right here a felt-like material, which is on the sides in order to have the fountain pen posting without damaging the Urushi coating on top. Although I don't recommend you, because when you post this fountain pen, it becomes infinite in regards of the length. I don't know who is going to use this fountain pen posted. I'm not that person. We're going to have a look at ergonomics. This is a chunky section, and it's chunky because it has to be. Imagine writing with a nib which is kind of this size. It needs to have a proper section, and just for a comparison reason, I'm going to show you the nib on Pelican M1000 next to this Namiki number 50. It's just like half a centimeter longer and girthier than the M1000 nib, which is also regarded as being a large nib itself. So you need to have a proper section to grip the fountain pen as you should in order to feel it comfortable and wieldy when you write with it. On the section, we have this beautiful Urushi and we have gold, and we have the sparkles on the section. Right here we have the threads of the capping system. Those are polished, not sharp at all, shiny towards the finger, so you can hold the fountain pen even by those threads without feeling uncomfortable or nothing whatsoever. The barrel continues to be straight. From this end right here we have a small tapering in beginning, and it ends at this point right here, and on the finial we have 801 Namiki Japan and the logo. I don't think this is the number of the fountain pen, because 801 fountain pens, I'm not sure. This fountain pen was introduced in 2016, and I believe the capability of production for this writing instruments, it's among maybe 6-8 fountain pens a year if we can do it as an average. So it's not that much. Just simply divide this number towards how many retailers are at this very moment for this fountain pen. You will understand that it's a scarce commodity, this fountain pen. It's a legend. And now let's check out the filling system. We can untwist and open up the shadow valve, the Japanese shadow valve. Like I told you in the beginning, this fountain pen, it's a Japanese shadow off valve eyedropper fountain pen. You can regulate the flow using the shadow valve. You can open it up and the fountain pen becomes a little bit more wet, or you can completely close it and there is the piston head, which it's going to go into right here, this conical part of the feeder. Right here we have the ink channels. The conical part of the shadow valve piston head goes into there. It's just going to regulate the flow of ink which is coming down through the feeder and on the page. The feeder, I forgot to mention, it's made from plastic. I've checked and I've taken apart such a writing instrument, and not this one but a different Namiki Emperor, the vermilion one, the one that I have, and inside I found to have a plastic feeder which is coated in Urushi. In the case of this writing instrument, it's black Urushi, and in the case of my vermilion one, it's a red feeder. I would have loved to see this red feeder on this fountain pen, but this is just personal taste. In regards of filling systems, I believe this fountain pen couldn't be more suited to get such a simple filling system like the shadow valve one, because it's simple to operate, it's easy to clean, there isn't anything that can go wrong with such a system, so it doesn't need maintaining, greasing, or nothing whatsoever. It just simply works, and it works well, because this is regarded to be one of the most well-behaving eyedropper filling system fountain pens on the market right now, and after testing so many of them, I can agree with this statement. Now I think it's time to put everything together, and let me show you how this fountain pen looks side by side other fountain pens, just to grasp the overall size and proportions of it. Then let's ink it up and let's give it a proper test drive on some beautiful paper, and let's see how it's writing. And in the end, we're going to conclude everything in some personal opinions of myself, of course. Let's put it side by side, a Tatcha, and this is Miyabi Winter's Breath Empress. This is a view side by side, a Pelican M1000 Homo sapiens from Visconti, Pilot Custom 823. Uncapped, the story is even more obvious. It's an oversized fountain pen, and by no means it's small. Capped like this, the fountain pen measures 175 millimeters. Uncapped in the writing position like this, it's going to measure 160 millimeters. Posted, it's going to measure infinite. The total weight of the fountain pen capped like this, it's 50 grams, and uncapped in writing position without ink is 33 grams. So the price point for such a fountain pen, if you are in the market for one, if you want to have it from Penventure, it's going to be 7,458 euros without taxes. Translated with VAT included and everything, it's 9,000-ish plus. I know like a handful of people that have one of this in their collection, and by handful I mean there are not that many. I can count them on this hand alone, and I can miss like 1 or 2 fingers. Probably soon I will try to see if I can join the club. Who knows? Let's ink up this fountain pen and let's check it out how it's in writing, because as much as I like writing instruments as display, as art, as collectibles, I'm using every single piece from my personal collection. And if I would have one of these writing instruments in my collection, for sure I would write with it quite often. This is the Sailor Chingaya Black, and this is one of my favorite black inks. As an ink volume on this fountain pen, you can rest for sure that once you ink it up fully, you're gonna be keeping it inked up and ready to go for months, because the entire ink volume for a Namiki Emperor like this, it's 5 milliliters of ink. Like I told you, it's a eyedropper, so we're gonna put some ink inside the fountain pen. We're gonna prime the feeder itself with some ink. We're gonna allow 1 or 2 drops of ink to go back into the inkwell. Pen. Namiki. Emperor. Dragon Maki-e. I don't know about you, but I'm a huge fan of the medium nib in size 50 from Namiki, but I'm gonna put a writing sample side by side in a few moments with my medium nib, which is adjusted by me for me. And this is the nib that came with this fountain pen. I have not touched it, I have not adjusted, nothing whatsoever. This is not my pen, and we have the nib. This is the number 50 18 karat gold FM nib. It has a little bit of feedback, but nothing super crazy. Ink. Sailor. Manyo. Chigaya. Black. And now let's check out the wetness. So remember, this is inked up. The valve is closed, so it doesn't have to be that wet, but it is. This is with the valve completely closed. So we have a medium wet ink flow. Let's open up the flow a little bit. One pass, a little bit more wet, and we have a double pass. Maybe a touch more. And now let's check out some normal figure of 8s, and we have a pretty fine nib, to be honest. So this is the FM. And now let me show you a side by side with my medium nib from the same number 50 Emperor. So you can clearly see that the medium on mine, it's a lot more wet because I open up the flow a little bit more, and this is how I like my medium nibs from Namiki number 50 to be, but this is just personal taste of mine. Of course, if you want to go forward with the medium nib from Namiki on a Dragon or any other Namiki fountain pen, you can leave your order notes on the Penventure website, and you can let me know, I want to have my medium nib to be more wet, more smooth, less smooth, you name it. You leave your order notes there, and I'll be the one that checks your writing instrument and adjust your nib according to what you told us. Flex. I'm not going to press on this nib, but if you apply a gentle pressure, you will see that we have some ink pooling down, but this is not a flexy nib. I don't consider this nib to be flexy at all. It's a gold nib which is meant to be written with super great care and attention. And in order to enjoy this experience, I don't recommend you at all to press on this nib. Let's check it out in the famous sentence. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Surprisingly wet, smooth, with a hint of feedback, that Japanese feedback, which I believe a lot of you need to understand and need to have in your collection, because I have a plenty of nibs which are super smooth, glass smooth, and you don't hear nothing when you write with them. But when you get this pencil-like feedback, and it actually feels like grip you actually grip the paper with your nib and you feel all of the vibrations. You pick up more of the writing motion itself. It gives out a lot more sense to it. Of course, the nib has no hard starts, no hesitation, nothing whatsoever. As you touch the paper, it's just writing. So there is no hesitation whatsoever, and you would not expect a single problem from this fountain pen. Let's put everything aside and let's focus on my personal opinions regarding this writing instrument. I've been in this hobby for quite some time. I mean, multiple years. Pen Venture is almost reaching out the 6th milestone, so the 6th year, and I've seen pretty much a lot of crazy writing instruments and interesting purchasing experiences, and I've met so many people. If you ask me at this moment, Emmy, have a look at this fountain pen and try to guess which would be the proper collector or customer for such a fountain pen, I would have no idea whatsoever. What age, what background, what job, pretty much I would not have a single clue about a collector that would want such a writing instrument. It's art. It's objective and subjective at the same time. It's interesting, it's delightful. For me, it has like a new facet because I can understand the art and what goes into creating such a writing instrument. And for the person that's watching right now and it's thinking about getting such a writing instrument, for sure you need to understand its sense, its purpose, and how much time and effort goes into creating such a fountain pen in order to understand actually what you get for your funds. This is the life craft of an Urushi artist. Probably this person has many decades in which he perfected the art of Urushi, of Maki-e. He does probably a handful of fountain pens each year, and this takes time and effort. And to be honest, if you understand all of these aspects, I believe you can grasp the price point for such a writing instrument. As a writing tool itself, it is not super practical. You have to have a lot of care and attention when it comes to such a fountain pen. You would not want to have this piece rolling off your desk. It doesn't have any clip, so it's not meant to be carried everywhere with you. It doesn't fit in most of the cases, or in all of the cases. The only cases that I'm carrying such a writing instrument with me are the pen kimonos from Tatcha, or something which has velvet and it's large enough to accommodate such a long and girthy fountain pen. It is meant to be used, but again, to what end? One of the aspects which are maybe off topic regarding this fountain pen is that I'm a huge fan of the Dragon Ball Z series, and having the dragon, the bow, the wishes, the everything, it makes the fountain pen even better. It brings me when I was a kid and I was watching the cartoons, Dragon Ball Z. I've seen pretty much maybe hundreds and hundreds of this cartoons, and I just love the story and everyone, and it makes the fountain pen to be like a toy, but for a grown-up person like me right now. And when you tie something as a fun memory of me when I was a child watching cartoons with me today and my passion and writing instrument, I believe it's a well-woven story enough for me to justify going for such a fountain pen. This fountain pen, soon they will not be available. I don't know when, I don't know, I don't have any information. I don't want to spread any FOMO. Usually I stay away from just simply advising my audience to invest into writing instruments like this ones and other ones, because in some cases an investment like this can be good or not, or average, I don't know. If you want to watch it as an investment and you want to enjoy it and to use it, this is one of those fountain pens that when the day in which is no longer going to be produced comes, it's going to be increasing in scarcity, and it will be increasing also in pricing from my perspective. That concludes my personal opinions, and I can put it in a single sentence. If this looks appealing to you, it has a meaning, it has a story, and you have the funds for such a writing instrument, it can be wise to get it now when it's available. I hope you enjoy my content. I hope this was interesting. I hope this adds a lot of perspective towards this writing instrument coming from a person that likes it itself and also wants to share this incredible art form, piece writing instrument with you all. Let me know if you have any other questions in the comment section down below. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. This will help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm and everything else. If you are on the market for such a writing instrument, you have one available at PenVenture. I'm gonna leave you the link down below. You can go there. I know that so many of you that are watching right now are probably not subscribed, so if you want to commit and subscribe to the PenVenture YouTube channel, I'm going to be promising you that you will see a lot of interesting content in regards of writing instruments, and it's very easy to be up to date with that content which is coming. Just click there, turn the notification bell on, subscribe, and you will be notified whenever we have new content. If you want to continue watching my previous videos, I'm going to leave you this right here. You can click and enjoy. As always, I'm your host, Amy from PenVenture. I look forward to seeing you next video. Take care, stay safe, bye bye.